This is Really Famous. I'm Kara Mayer Robinson, and I interview famous people. But I don't just interview them like your typical interview. I'm not really interested in those same old questions. Instead, I like to know who they really are and what they really think. This is a bonus episode, or part 2 of my interview with dog behaviorist Cesar Millan. In the last episode of Really Famous, Cesar Millan, star of The Dog Whisperer and Cesar 911, walked me through the major story of how he went from being an energetic child in rural Mexico with big, huge dreams to becoming the most famous dog trainer and dog guru on the planet. If you missed it, go back and listen. I think you'll be glad that you did. It's episode number 34, and it's fabulous. It's Cesar Millan as you've never seen him before. But if by chance you don't feel like it, that's okay. Here's what you missed. I don't want you to be confused after all. So it went something like this. Cesar grew up with strong family values and a natural understanding of animals and how they get along and what they need. And he lived in what he calls a nice strong pack with really strong pack leaders. After a treacherous journey to the United States with $100 in his pocket and zero knowledge of English, he worked his way through the dog grooming and dog walking world, and he eventually landed his own show. In that time, he was married, he had kids, got divorced, and hit a major low point. I won't give it all away here. He tells his story much better than I ever could. Skipping ahead a bit, he meets the woman of his dreams and he falls in love. And that's where we're about to pick up right now in this bonus episode. And naturally, if you want to learn more about Cesar, just visit CesarsWay.com. You'll get all the details on his dog training programs, live performances, and pet products. And here's a word from our sponsor, Pet Playgrounds.
Have a dog that keeps getting out of your yard? Have an invisible fence that just doesn't work? Then you need a Pet Playgrounds dog fence. It's a physical fence that can be assembled by yourself or one of our installers. The Dig Guard prevents dogs from digging under our fence. It's a strong yet flexible steel mesh system that moves. This stops dogs from climbing over, too. Visit petplaygrounds.com and use the code REALLYFAMOUS to save 5% and get free shipping today.
Thank you, Pet Playgrounds, for sponsoring the show. A big thank you to our sponsor, Fresh Patch. As seen on ABC's Shark Tank, Fresh Patch is real hydroponically grown grass. It's easy to use because dogs already like to go on real grass, and it's not confusing like pea pads or synthetic grass. There's no cleaning, you just throw it away when a new one arrives. Order Fresh Patch today, go to freshpatch.com. Here we are, picking up where we left off in part 1, with Cesar talking about his fiancée, Jahida.
Something about her, and she was sweet. I love her voice as well. So I started liking everything about her, like the voice, the eyes, the smile, the hair. Love her hair.
Yeah, it's called falling in love.
Yeah.
So now you live in Santa Clarita?
No. Now my brother, I went and lived with my brother for a period of time. I needed family, and my brother was working with me, and so I went to his apartment, and little by little, I started feeling better, and then I rent an apartment, beautiful apartment, right by Universal Studios, beautiful. I bought a brand new car, just like the suit. I just wanted to reinvent just a new thing, just a new life, like that transition, like the metaphor. And so the car was white. It's just like an angel. The apartment was it's beautiful like this. You have this beautiful view.
Right now we're looking across the Hudson River.
Yes,
New York City, and it looks beautiful.
So that was in a beautiful apartment, and you need just to start all over. And then from there, I bought a house in Studio City, brand new house. I made $600,000 on the sale. Then I bought another house in Encino. Sold that house to a nice, beautiful family. And then we moved to Encino to another brand new house, bigger. And that's where we live right now.
So you flip houses too?
I do.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
And how many dogs are with you now?
4 at the house, and it's a very super dog friendly house. They have their own grooming salon. They have their own area like for them, so.
So right now you're on the road and you have 2 of your dogs with you, or they're 2?
Well, Junior and Benson are always with me because this guys definitely represent the yin and the yang, the little dog and the big dog.
Okay, so Junior is
a pit bull.
And I think we've seen him on TV, right?
Yeah, Junior was born and raised on TV.
Yeah.
He's the child actor.
And right now he's sleeping under your legs.
Yeah,
on the couch.
On the couch.
Totally comfortable and
Totally.
packed out.
Packed out. Yeah, they save energy for tonight. They love to
they're
go on
going to be
stage.
performing tonight.
Yeah, they go on stage.
They go on stage with you.
People love to see them, I don't keep them on stage because people would not watch me. They keep
Right.
watching Junior and talk, hi Junior, and so I'm talking about something that is very important, and then people would just totally get distracted.
And then Benson.
Benson comes, he loves the stage. You're going to see him. He is a show dog.
So Benson is what kind of dog?
He's a Pomeranian.
A Pomeranian. And Benson is sleeping but in a corner.
Benson always liked to be facing
Like in a den
to where you
almost?
are.
Oh, facing, right. And he is facing us.
So he always got to go and like face to, Junior's always going to be near and Benson is always going to be away facing. And we have other dogs. Some of them, they go here and some of them go here. Everybody has their own spot.
And they understand within the pack who goes where and who does what.
Yeah, it's all in agreement.
Okay, and everybody's calm within this
When
pack.
it needs to be calm, indoor should be calm. Indoor, the dog should practice stretching or resting. A little bit of walk from one place to another, but not running.
So you're performing tonight. You have a live show, and you do that how often?
I do it on the weekends.
Every weekend?
For the most part, yeah.
So you're a busy man.
Like I told you, that's why my mom put me in judo.
Right. This works for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Dogs are very productive species, and I think humans are. We like to be productive. I'm one of those people who, if I'm not doing something productive, I don't find the purpose of life. So for me, live shows or a TV show or writing a book or whatever, it's just to keep my spirit productive. It's just to paying it forward, helping people, and it's
Right.
just.
Now, you never got any like specific training of like any kind of, I don't know, dog training or anything like that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I never got to the dog trainers in Hollywood. I actually train trainers now.
You're also like a therapist at this point.
Well,
a human therapist.
I do train people, right? So,
That's what I mean.
So making people aware and helping people to become to acknowledge that they are the problem is definitely first step.
Right. I mean, it seems like if anybody's watching you on TV, we get it. Like, we know it. You know what I mean? And we love to watch it over and over again. But come on, we know. Like, how can you not know? If you're having a problem with your dog at this point, you should know, because Cesar would tell you that you're the problem and you're not being the appropriate dog leader.
But in the back of the mind of every human being, they don't want to be the problem. You know what I mean? It's just easy to point out outside.
If it's always stems from the human, almost not always, I guess, right? Some of the dogs that you've seen, they come in
some of the dogs are too far gone.
Yeah.
They need someone with more experience to bring it back to easy management.
Yeah.
Right, so it can be managed by a human who loves them but doesn't have the experience of rehabilitating. And rehabilitating means returning a dog to his natural state. So it's not that the dog is crazy. Is the dog hasn't have his life met, his fulfillment met, so he has become super unstable. So he needs to be with someone who knows when the dog is going to bite, when the dog is going to run away, because it's at a level 10. That's why I call red zone. You know what I mean? So most people are okay with level 2, level 3 of problem. Very few people can actually do red zone.
Right.
Yeah. So
how often are you filming a show now? Like, what is your general?
Twice a year I film shows, because I do also shows in Asia. For Asia, I am doing Caesar's Recruit Asia, and the whole point of going to different countries, or specifically in Asia, is because when people think Asia, they think humans eating dog. So it's not like not everybody in Asia does it, But one way to you can change someone's way of doing things is not by blaming them or telling them they're wrong, because Hindus never blame Americans by eating cows, right? Cows in India are God. So in order for us to change the frame of mind of people, we just have to let them know there is other opportunities, other way of looking at it. So one thing that I told when I went over there is like, would you rather do business with a dog one time, or would you rather do with the same dog for many years? And so they didn't know the dog walking is available. They don't know the grooming is available. They don't know that they bring in a dog into your house and so you can take care of the dog is available, which you can make money for years versus making money one time.
Okay.
So you see it?
Yeah.
So then they say, well, yes, I sold the dog so I can make money, or I can do a service and I can make money with the same dog for many years.
Right, it makes much more sense.
That makes much more sense.
Sure.
So you're not making them wrong. You're just telling them that they can make more money.
You're helping them discover it on their own.
That's
almost.
right.
Yeah. There's a little psychology
That's
there.
right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Sure.
You don't go to people's home to tell them they're wrong. You go to people's home to tell them, to make them aware. Let them figure it out that they're wrong.
So what happens, and do you kind of know who the dog is going to be and who the family's going to be? Do they give you does the producer go in and take some footage or anything?
I don't care. That's more for producers to know, because there is a science for TV. What person can keep viewers engaged.
Yeah, and what angles they need
yeah,
to.
you see what I mean? So I don't care. I don't really care. I love the not knowing.
So you really go in blind.
Yeah, I don't need to know.
But so you have a team who probably goes in, they do their thing ahead of time. You don't know.
People send videos.
Oh, okay.
People send videos, and the producers sit there to watch. Okay, this person is funny. This person is annoying. This person is this. This person is that. Oh, this person is sweet, or whatever. So it's like flavors of the energies that people need to watch on TV.
Yeah.
I have nothing to do with it. I don't really care.
Yeah. Yeah, you just come in and you see.
It's just common sense. I'm just going to teach you common sense. I don't have to be a scientist. Love is already there. What's not there is common sense.
Sure. Right. Love is always there.
Yeah.
In every place you
in
go.
every place. I'm not going to go teach people how to love a dog.
But how often? How long do you have to spend though once you get into the home?
With the human, I always ask, so how can I help you? And then they begin to tell you, la da 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 da, and then so I divide the people live in 4 different worlds: the intellectual world, emotional world, spiritual world, instinctual world. But if they were living in the instinctual world, they wouldn't need me. People in the Amazons live in the instinctual world. People in the city, they live in their mind and their emotions or in their spirituality, right? So then once they start talking to you, I know they're coming from the intellectual point of view, emotional point of view, or spiritual point of view. For example, people say, my dog is so smart, Cesar, but he doesn't come when I call him. You see it? Oh, my dog is my baby, but he wants to kill a dog. My dog is my soulmate, but he doesn't like my husband.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So by how they open the conversation,
almost.
That's right. You see what world are they coming from.
So you match it to one of those 4 in your head.
So that allows me. Okay, this person's coming from an intellectual point of view. This person's coming from an emotional point of view, or from a spiritual point of view. Nothing wrong with that, but my goal is to help them understand the instinctual point of view. Right? Yeah, and then gently. Because in their mind, they're doing the right thing. You know what I mean? In their mind, when a person says, my dog is my son, my dog is my baby, it's real to them. So you have to be very, very careful on just asking them to put it aside, not to let it go. Yeah, it's just to
temporarily
put it aside. That's right. So you can see things in a different point of view. And then you bring this one back, and then we match it or fuse it.
So you can do that in what, like an hour?
No, not always. Sometimes it's 3 hours, because remember, 80% of the people that come to me are women. 80%. One of the things that women love to do is talk. And a lot of times they don't have somebody to talk to in their home. So I become that guy. That's how I gain the trust. They already love me.
Oh, so when you give them the instruction,
First, I listen.
Yes.
No, you first listen to a woman. You first listen, and listen. You don't tell them when to stop. You just she's automatically going to say, okay, now help me, because what she's doing, she's venting, right? So you have to also understand the psychology of a woman and the psychology of a man, and that's it. You just have to let him be. You know what I mean? Let him be. So that way you naturally create trust. They love me. They love me already, and I'm already welcome into their home. But we haven't had a moment where you build trust. And the easiest way to build trust with a woman is you listen to her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're not making it wrong. You just listen. You attentively listen to her, genuinely listen to her. She's going to feel it, that this guy who they already love is listening to her. You get it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Powerful right there, because then they're open. They're open to listening to you when it's time.
Yeah, because I already did my part. I listened to you. Now it's time for me to share.
So it usually doesn't take that long, I guess, then, but a few hours or whatever. Or it does take long. So you just let them talk as long as they can.
You can't stop them, because if they don't get to the drain all the way, and then you are going to have a halfway there woman. You understand?
I totally understand, but I'm going to illustrate it because people aren't going to see it. So you're kind of saying you have to empty. You're pointing to like your abs, sort of, and you're saying it has to empty everything. They need to be able to get everything out. And if it's only halfway, like towards your chest or whatever, then they still have half inside, and it's not going to work. They haven't let it all out.
They haven't let it all out. And most men do not let their women share. They don't want to deal with it. It's too many words. You understand? And so.
But we women like to share.
Yeah. It is what it is.
We like to share.
It is what it is. It is what it is. I'm a good listener. What makes me a good dog whisperer? That I'm a good listener. I'm a good listener, and most of my family members are females. I grew up with females.
But I think that has a lot to do with it.
And animals, you have to listen to an animal. And the animal is going to tell you what he needs, what he's missing, where he is. So it's just they're faster to tell you. That's it. A woman has that emotional, intellectual sharing moment. So that's the difference. They're both going to share. The dog is going to get to the point quicker because it's instinctual, right? And a woman is emotional, intellectual. And it's just what it is. It's
right, with exceptions, of course.
And what?
With exceptions, a woman there could be a woman who's not like that, or a man who's the opposite, right?
Oh yeah. This is very, 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 very rare, very rare, especially in the dog world. Yeah, it's because in the dog world, it's very emotional. Yeah, because most of the dogs that I work with, their dog is their children. So the only way you can see that is emotional. A person who's not a dog person, he would say that's not her son.
So do you think of yourself as your dog's father or owner?
Well, it's just a label. It's a title, right?
Right.
I'm just a human who loves them.
You're their human.
Yeah, I'm their human who loves them, and my responsibility is to guide them to do the right thing, and to protect them from the right things. To protect them from things that are not going to be helpful to them.
Right.
So leadership means protection and direction. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that my job as a human. So you can call me a dad. You can call me a human. You can call me an owner. I don't care.
Let me ask you a few specifics about things that you do with the dogs. So first of all, riding the bike with the dog. I always see you do it, and it looks amazing. But I feel like, can people really do that, or can only you do that?
No.
Because it seems like, if I tried that, I would break my neck.
Well, you can't do it with a pack of dogs, but you can do it with one dog.
Anybody could just do that with a dog?
Yeah.
It seems so difficult.
Listen, once you make a dog focus, that's all you're gonna. It's like sled. It's the same. If a guy can do it with 12 dogs, 18 dogs, and a sled, what he's asking is to stay focused on one line.
What about dogs who hate, or not hate, but are afraid of men?
Well, so yes, especially the back of the pack dogs. Dogs are born to be in the back of the pack are definitely going to be more sensitive. They're going to do better with women because women are going to be more gentle in the approach. Women are going to be, it's okay. So there's going to tone the energy down versus the man is going to say, what's wrong with the dog?
But here's something fun. I would give you a funny example of my friends, Kim and Jason, who have I guess it's a lab mix, I'm not really sure. Their dog, Lucy, is afraid of all men, not women. However, so my husband comes in one night, meets the dog. He's the gentlest, loves dogs, everything. But she started barking at him just because he was a man. So
the
what
smell,
is that about?
the smell of the
smell.
testosterone. Yeah, I mean, we're in the energy world we're the same, but when it comes to chemistry, we're different. Our chemistry is different. You have estrogen, we have testosterone.
Right. So there is that energy, but there is that smell.
The smell. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, that explains
So
it.
obviously you have to help her go through this scent. Yeah, that's a very sensitive dog. That's the kind of dog that you can use for like finding cancer and finding. I mean, that's how strong the sensitivity is. Like recognizes men at a distance.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's the sensitive. I mean, testosterone, as you know, is a very strong scent. That's why the males are peeing everywhere. Right? Yeah, they want to pee everywhere.
I may as well ask you my own question. I have a black lab, and it's a girl. And when she goes to pee outside, she walks as she pees.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Well, some dogs don't stop and pee. They just too excited about it, so they keep going.
Every time. She never stands still.
Yeah. Some dogs walk in two legs, and they pee. It's not very common because dogs do take their time to use their bathroom. That's
the problem. You're too excited to see what's outside. I think
that's correct
because she likes to sniff everything out.
Yeah, the brain is too excited and the body is not. So the body and the brain are not together.
So what's the biggest mistake humans are making with their dogs?
Well, to me, is about honoring the identity of who you're working with. Horse people are really respectful to a horse. They want the horse to be a horse. Cat people, they want the cat to be a cat. But the dog people, they want the dog to be a human. So the man best friend is the one we don't honor the identity. I'm not saying not to love a dog the way you love a human. My gratitude to animals and to dogs are, super high. Everything I have accomplished is because the dog opened the door. But I need to honor. It's like a man not honoring, the identity of a woman. It's just at the same level. You were born to be a woman, and that's your identity. And now the people who are transgender, the identity is something else, and you must honor that, right? And so I think by beginning with that we're not really honoring the identity of a dog and what we want to make as a dog a human first. And that begins the mistake, because you're gonna use human psychology on someone who has his own psychology. So what that says is the human is prioritizing his needs first. So that alone tells you that's going to be a not ideal relationship, because the human is being selfish unconsciously. People don't know. People don't know they're doing it. And super powerful people, super famous people, super rich people do it, because they think, how can love be bad? How can emotions be bad? How can adoring someone like a human be bad? Well, there's nothing wrong once you allow them to be themselves and then you humanize them.
So one has to come before the other.
Yes. A woman is going to feel great being a woman. Great, the greatest, the best ever, right?
Yeah.
And as you know, until today, 2018, many parts of the world, they still don't allow a woman identity. So, what is the worst thing men do to women? Not allowing to be women. Because she's going to be happy being who she is. There's nothing, there's no science around. It's very spiritual. You love someone when you help somebody to be themselves. That's true love.
So what makes you happy?
Well, what makes me happy is definitely to being able to exercise. I think, spirit is important, mind is important, heart is important, but body is important.
So what do? You exercise every day, I'm sure?
Yeah. I wake up at 5 a.m. I take care of the dogs first and foremost. I do a short walk, about 40 to an hour, and then I go do Pilates. and then I come back home, and then I eat my breakfast with Jahaira. She makes an amazing shakes, and then I go to the ranch, and that's where we do the more, the pack and the farm animals and all of that stuff. I do by 12:1. I do my meetings. My
What meetings?
What meetings? Like business.
Oh, business meetings.
Yeah, like from 12 to 4. All the animals are resting. Come back to the ranch. Do another long walk, another activities. Because we have goats, and so everybody, chickens. I make the chickens walk. I make the emu walk, and everybody gets to have an interaction. All my dogs and all my animals interact, like in the farm. To me, that was the best.
It's
thing.
full circle,
That's
right back to what
now
you
I have
know
my
is-
own land,
Yeah.
and I'm bringing what I learned. The whole harmony and balance
Yeah.
and the ecosystem that I grew up with. Nobody's on a leash. Everybody is,
So what do you do
understand.
with all the eggs? Because you must get a lot of eggs.
Oh, I give plenty of eggs to the people that work with me. Yeah, we take some home.
An egg a day per chicken, right?
Sometimes two. Yeah, and my kids have an apartment, so they always come and take some eggs. Yeah, so just to be able to be productive and help.
Plus, you're also in that environment that feels right to you, with the farm and the open space and all the animals and family.
A wonderful woman. My mom calls me every day. My dad also, he's there.
And where do they live now?
It's still in the same place.
Okay.
Yeah. It never goes one day without me being grateful about my accomplishment or staying healthy and alive. So that's my spiritual part of it.
I can see that just the way that you talked about everything that you've been through, starting when you were a child. I can see that it's constantly in the front of your mind.
Yeah.
It's part of who you are, and it's
Yeah.
not something you try to forget or
No.
move on from, right?
No, it's good to know where you come from. It's good to to appreciate and to know that it was a sacrifice for them before I became who I became. All of that. It's not just Cesar Millan cross the border and boom. It's just whatever happened in the past has to do with what's happening now and what's going to happen in the future. So the gratitude of the family, and the pride of the family, even if we came from a low-income family, it doesn't matter. I mean. What I gained growing up in that environment is who I am right now. Mm-hmm. It's just I haven't stopped being the same guy. To do better, to help people, to take the opportunities. It's always about helping the pack. You know what I mean? My kids, my mother-in-law, my parents. I support my whole family. I am my dad. So to me, that's an amazing role model experience. You know what I mean? It's a big responsibility. But I love it. I really like that I'm able to provide health and food and shelter. And I took my mom to Israel, and as a Catholic, that was one of his dreams. My grandmother from my mom's side was extremely religious, and her dream was to
Unitarian.
Yeah, to go to Israel, for Catholics, that's the big deal. Even for Jewish, it's not a big deal, but for Catholics, it's a big deal. So I hold on that unity, that love, that gratitude. That's who we are.
Your father got his $100 back.
Mm-hmm. Oh, plenty more.
It was quite a good investment.
Yes, exactly. The funny part is when I told my dad the first time when I called to Mexico, like months later, I told my dad, guess what? Americans are paying me to walk their dogs. So I was very proud. It says $300, $300, $400. And my dad said, get a better job. He had no idea. Where we're from, nobody pays you to take care of nobody's dog.
So he was like, what are you doing?
What are you doing? I mean, you're not a vet. You know what I mean? So the more legitimate job was to be a vet. And I'm walking people's dog. And that to him was like devastating. You know what I mean? How my son is working. And he said, no, you don't understand, Pop. You don't understand. So finally, when he watched the show for the first time, he teared up.
Did he?
He apologized and so sorry, that I have no idea. He didn't know. He had no idea that my dream was to be the best dog trainer in the world. That's why I told my mom, because if I would have told my dad would have said, be something else, And he didn't saw a business in the dog training world. He didn't saw it as a legitimate
Well,
thing.
most people probably wouldn't have.
Right. Not until now.
Not right. Well, most people also don't become Cesar Millan.
Yeah, but now it's a lot of kids that want to be a dog whisperer. Now it's a lot of kids that want to rehabilitate dogs. Now now the profession has is legitimate. Mm-hmm. So it's changing. The world is changing because this guy wanted to be the best dog trainer in the world, and it turned a dog whisperer. So you never know where life is going to take you. You just have to stay super passionate and super focused in what you really want. And even if your own family member tells you it's impossible or it's not good or whatever it is, as long as you feel it, go for it.
Now I feel like I have to ask, where do you want to be in 5 years, or what do you want to do next?
Well, I think right now we are definitely got the respect of the government all over the world. And they're understanding the needs of having a dog psychology center in every country. A dog psychology center is a place where people actually understand how to be with a dog. So it's a community of people where they're all in agreement, where breed doesn't matter, where you know how to help a person that is struggling. You know what I'm saying? So that becomes the blueprint of a place that is safe, so you can then go into the real world. Yeah. So people have dog parks. But a dog park is not a place where you learn anything. It's just a place where you gamble. You gamble the life of a dog. Because a lot of times people bring excited dogs, nervous dogs, tense dogs, frustrated dogs, and they put them in a dog park. You know what I mean? So dog fights will occur. Dog fights will happen. People will fight with each other. People will learn to dislike each other. Because they're not doing it right. They're not walking together and then come into a dog park. You understand?
Yeah, sure.
They just for different homes, and they just put them there.
In this spot.
Okay, guys, see if you can mingle with each other. See, that's what I say is a gamble. They're gambling. They're gambling the moment. So there is a way that you can do it in a more organized, preventative way, but the government needs to be involved because this is something that it should be required.
Oh, so you think you want to start these? You want to open these all over the place and have the government involved?
Yeah. It should
fund it with funding.
With taxpayers. Yeah.
So like public instead of dog parks, rehabilitation areas, or
the dog psychology centers are going to have the dog park, are going to have coffee shops, are going to have trails, are going to have farm animals, are going to have all the scenarios that you might find in the city, but you need to be trained human.
Okay.
It's like your DMV place. You see it? You don't just get a car if you don't know how to drive it. Okay?
Yeah.
So you need to know how to pass by dogs, how to interact dogs, how to, all of that. You need to understand what state of mind you should bring when you go to a coffee shop or when you go to a restaurant. You know what I mean? You should know.
Yeah.
It's not that you bring a pit bull or a Rottweiler or a Lhasa Apso. It's that everybody is in a calm state while there's food present on the table. Therefore, it's not going to be fights. So there is a way where we can prevent all these problems. So my goal is honestly for humans to know the world peace can happen with dogs. We might not find world peace with politics, with religion, with economy, and with race and all of that stuff, but it's one area we can all find world peace is dog lovers. You know what I mean? Because everybody wants to do the right thing for the dog.
So are you working on this already?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Is this going to happen?
Well, if it's not going to happen when I'm alive, it's already starting.
It has already started.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, and
awesome.
of course, to see my kids continuing the education. I did rehabilitation. I did intervention. I want them to do prevention. I want them to focus on making sure the millennials, the next generation, to understand that there is a way where you can prevent for a dog to ever becoming unstable.
How did you get so good at speaking English? Like, you really speak well.
Well, thank you. In the back of my mind, I don't think it's so clear. But this comes from my mom. You know, my mom say, if you're gonna listen to somebody, you could listen to people who are gonna be positive about what they're saying. So slang was not allowed for me to speak. And so Oprah, Tony Robbins, Deepak Chopra, Wayne Dyer, I started seeking for those people, the influence people, how they talk, how clear they talk, you know, how they pause, the words they use. So I study people. I study people just like a baby studies, you know, grown-ups. And so, you know, I definitely imitate without losing me. You know, and of course I want to make sure that the people understand what I'm saying. So I put a lot of effort in being clear. I put a lot of effort in using universal words. You know, the whole world, from a teenager to a young person, because you're gonna see, if you watch the show tonight, you're gonna see kids, teenagers, you know, moms and seniors. So the whole entire family comes.
Right, right.
So I have to be able to be mature, but at the same time simple, where kids can learn.
Yes,
and
you're
understand.
accessible to everyone.
Yes, because to me the goal is we can all have an amazing relationship with dogs.
And I just heard that you have some fans, like people drive really far, they'll fly
15
to
hours,
see
10
you.
hours, fly. Yeah, in LA we have, I do a TCW, Training Caesar's Way. People from Germany, people from Egypt, people from Brazil, people from all over the world comes. You know, every from all over the world.
So did they get to meet you? Did they get a chance to be like?
I do the classes.
I
Yeah.
thought they were coming to the live shows.
Oh, well, the live shows is here. Like the longest will be like Canada or Texas.
Right.
And so there is people they are, you know, I am their Christmas present or their birthday present.
That's so cool.
Yes, yes. So it's a family thing, you know. Because dogs are part of the family, and they feel that I am part of their family, you know, and I help them with their family member. And so the gratitude is huge, the love is huge, the appreciation is huge, you know. And so for them to want to meet me and say thank you or hug or I always want to meet you, it's very common, it's very normal. I don't take it for granted. I know that the struggle that a lot of people have to do, you know, driving 10 hours, 15 hours is a lot just for 2 hours. But yeah. So it's great. I mean,
Yeah, Dario is showing me. She has pictures of a group of women who have come to see you over and over again.
That's right.
And like, so she has them over
Then
time.
you have the super fans.
Super fans.
Then you have the super fans. I mean, they love it every time. You know, they love it every time. I feel like Bruce Springsteen. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same people who go to this concert. The same, they're all doing the hand muff, you know. And so I guess I am Bruce Springsteen level, you know. But I'm the dog guy. So you see a lot of grandparents coming, you know, you're doing a great job. And that's when I love it, because that's a generation that have seen a lot, but they never seen a
Something
Mexican
like
guy.
this.
You know what I mean? They never seen a Mexican guy influence America at this level with dogs. You know, they have seen Cesar Chavez, you know, which is, you know, the rights for farmers, but they never seen a guy who went outside what the common Mexican thing, you know, and it went into the heart of America, which is dogs.
So do you go back to Mexico often?
Yeah. Yeah, my family lives
Do
there.
people recognize you there as
Oh my
like
God,
the American
yeah.
star?
Over there, I'm a hero.
Oh, you're more than the American star. You're global.
Oh yeah, I'm over there because I'm an immigrant. You know what I mean? Because I come. Remember, third world country. The reason it was third world country because vast majority is poor. So when they see somebody that they can relate, and they went this far, you know, you don't see a lot of Latinos in American television. You see them in Univision.
Yeah, you don't.
No.
There really aren't many.
Yeah, George Lopez. You know, Desi Arnaz.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time ago. So, but those were actors. I'm actually a guy who actually teaches. You know, I'm the first Latino who actually teaches on TV. And so for them,
So they feel proud of
they
you.
feel very proud.
And
They feel-
grateful.
And you know, I jumped the border. I speak English.
Yeah,
you
you're
know,
like the perfect.
And I went
yeah.
not only America, worldwide. I'm in 120 countries.
What happens when you're like walking, or you're just kind of walking out? Do you get recognized?
Yeah,
Do they come up to you a little bit too often?
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
To just take a picture.
Take a picture and go. Yeah.
Some people want to ask you a question, but I say, it's not the right time.
You're very recognizable.
Yeah. But they have that chance. Listen, it doesn't take 2 seconds for me to answer a question.
And even at the airport, it'll happen, right?
All the time.
You'll be going through customs.
All the time. I mean, it has, obviously, like the most funny part is when the pilot, as we are in the air, comes out of the cabin and say, "Hey, I have a problem with my dog." And you just like, can you go back, and when we land, I can answer the question.
Just
don't worry, that's right. Like that's the pilot. Oh, don't worry. My partner is right there. It's like, no, but 2 people is better.
Right. There's a reason there are 2 people they put in that spot.
That's right. When I went to the White House many years ago, the Secret Service knew that I was in line, because you got to go online, and everybody goes online. But they knew that the dog whisperer was there. I cut the line and all the way to the front. Like,
even at the White House.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's good stuff. That's
That's
pack leader status.
That is. You're living a good life.
I have seen the world.
Who do people think Cesar Millan is? Who do they think you are?
I don't know. There's so many things. There's so many things. I don't know. I know who my mom thinks I am.
Who does your mom think you are?
She thinks I'm an angel.
Is she right?
I'm a good son. Yeah, I'm a good son. I'm definitely a good son, a good brother. Yeah. I try to be for her, for my dad. Yeah, I wanted to have the best life.
And it sounds like they raised you well.
A lot of love,
Yeah.
a lot of good moral values, a lot of rules. It's definitely my mom and my dad were my pack leaders. I never saw my dad as having more authority than my mom. My grandparents were my pack leaders. So I was born and raised in a super healthy environment with respect, trust, and love was everything. Therefore, loyalty rises, after those 3 things, and I think that's a wonderful thing, because I love that about animals. I love how they trust 100%, respect 100%, love you 100%. Therefore, they're loyal to you. That's what they follow you off leash. You see it? So once you have those 3 things, loyalty is the leash. Mm-hmm. And I experienced that with my human pack. And so by me being with my dogs, it's like always remembering how my family was me growing up.
Who is Cesar Millan, really?
I would see myself as a guy with, like most people, with big dreams, visionary. I want to help the world, sincerely want to help the world. I think it's possible. I think it's needed. My faith is bigger than my instincts. I just want to be different than anybody else, so it's easier for me to influence people, because I want to definitely be unique about the approach that I do.
Yeah, I think you've done that.
You know what I mean?
I don't think you have to worry about that. Okay, here's what I would like to do. I'm going to ask you some quick answer questions.
Okay.
So they're not very deep or reflective. They're just answer off the top of
All
your
right.
head. What is in your fridge?
Coconut water.
What's in your car, or do you drive a truck?
I drive a Range Rover.
What's in it?
Dogs.
What's the first thing you do when you get home?
Kiss Jahida.
Your fiance.
Yeah.
What TV shows do you watch now?
Game of Thrones, Narcos, comedy, stand-up comedy. I watch a lot of that. Yeah, we watch a lot of documentary about food and things like that.
Do you have any celebrity clients?
Many.
Who's your favorite?
All of them.
What's a perfect Sunday for you?
I wake up really early, and then for Jahida to agree to go with me to the ranch, and we stop at my favorite menudo place. That's the only day that I do a cheating. and I eat my awesome Mexican food, which nobody likes, but I love it.
Wait, nobody likes it?
Well, most people don't like it because it's the stomach of the cow.
So you're eating it alone, basically?
Yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite meal?
Oh, my favorite meal has to be huevos rancheros. Love them.
One of your favorite restaurants?
One of my favorite restaurants has to be crustaceans.
One product I can't live without is,
My face cream.
which is
I forgot the name of it, but I can't live without it. Oh, nail clippers.
nail clippers.
Forget about the face cream, nail clippers. I don't like to see a little bit of nail. I like my nails super clean. I work with animals, and I think it's very important for a man to be super, super clean on his nails and his fingers.
The last thing I do before I go to sleep is
Make sure the dogs are all fine. You know, everybody take a pee break before they go to sleep, and then hug Jahaira super tightly.
if I wasn't a dog whisperer, I'd be
A park ranger. I just want to work around nature, you know, or I love dolphins, but I'm not really good in the water. But I would just anything. You know, listen, believe it or not, I would love to clean freeways. I don't like to see freeways dirty.
Do you ever go out there yourself and pick a few
It's
things up that you
dangerous.
see?
It's dangerous. They don't let you. The highway patrol will not let you clean the freeways. But you know, you can ask Jahaira. I say, babe, I just don't like when I see all this dirt, because I love the freeways in America. You know, the roads are so beautiful, so manicured. So there's no need for people to have trash. That's why I love Singapore. Singapore is the most beautiful, clean country, because it's a country. You're not going to see trash. I love that discipline. I love that organization, that cleanliness.
What are you obsessed with?
Life. I'm obsessed with sharing the simplicity of life.
My biggest secret is
My biggest secret? I don't have a secret. I'm very open. I share everything. I obviously share, you know, me trying to commit suicide and my divorces and my lawsuits. And I don't like to hide things because it just drives me crazy. And I live by the energy, so I don't like to hold anything because it becomes toxic. That's it.
Cesar Millan. Thank you for being on Really Famous.
Thank you.
There you have it, Cesar Millan. For one-click special access to videos and photos of Cesar and me, plus links to oodles of good stuff that you heard about on the show, tap on my episode notes. I have an assortment of phenomenal guests lined up for Really Famous, so get ready. Hint number one guest starred on The Sopranos. Another guest has an incredibly recognizable voice. Another one has an incredibly recognizable face. One guest contracted malaria. Want names? Want to know who I'm talking about? Sign up for my newsletter and check out my sound bites, fun video clips, and bloopers on Instagram and Twitter. And cool news, I'll also be heading to the Tribeca Film Festival soon, plus a few more film festivals, so I'll be posting lots of behind-the-scenes fun, just for your entertainment. Thank you to our sponsors, Pet Playgrounds and Fresh Patch. And thank you for listening to Really Famous. I'm Cara Mayer Robinson. Thanks again to our sponsors, Fresh Patch and Pet Playgrounds.